Spring Hill, Tennessee. Welcome to Let's Craft Together, our usual Sunday Night Live. We are live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, and today's no different. Here we are.
Did we call it Let's Craft Together last week?
Yeah.
We did.
Didn't we? Well, create.
Let's create together.
Let's create together.
Yeah. Every week we'll have a new
we'll
name.
We'll just call it something new every week.
Sure.
Yeah. It feels really dark over here. Maybe, is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting a glare from the other light over there.
Okay. All right. Well, now that I've been back to painting some furniture, it's all I want to do right now. So for a while there, we were doing some other crafts, some jewelry, and things like that. And now I just can't wait to keep painting pieces of furniture. And we keep getting these really cool pieces. So what a great way to get them painted, but to do it with you guys. So say hello to Bill. He's behind the camera. If you are new to us, thank you for joining, and make sure you follow along with us. We're a husband and wife small business in Middle Tennessee, just south of Nashville, and we specialize in custom-built furniture, repainting furniture. We're not refinishing a lot of furniture these days, but we make just about everything. So if you ever need something custom-made, give us a holler, and always come visit us if you're in the area. We did get to finally meet a customer of ours that came in, and we love when people come in that we only know virtually, and then they come in the store. It's just like so cool to meet them. So Susan was in this weekend, so that was nice to meet her finally. I guess we'll get started. Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Look at this piece. Is this cool? So we just picked this up today. Actually, I think Susan was who we picked it up. Another Susan is who we picked it up from. Cute antique little vanity. I want to show you a little bit of what it looked like before. I'm going to move some of this. It really wasn't in too bad of a shape. We did a lot of kind of minor sanding. There was just some imperfections in it, some glue and just some different things kind of sticking up. I had to sand a bit around where the hardware was, because when I popped it off, of course, it left kind of a deep ring. There were these washers that were on here. Actually, that's not one of them.
Were they on the front or the back?
Yeah, no, they were right there, but they were stuck. They were stuck on there. There's also one in the back, but it had these really cute, which we're not going to put these back on, but I will use these. Look at these little owls. Oops, hang on. Oh, what was that from?
Don't know, but
you
cute hardware.
You sanded the top.
Oh, yeah. You have to clean
All
it.
right, so make sure you clean your top after you
All right, it's
sand
clean.
it. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I found out.
Amber is saying I sound a little better.
He's doing well,
Yeah,
huh?
I might cough a little bit later, as is usually the case as time goes on. If Pam does most of the talking, I should be okay.
Which is usually the case. So, yeah, just before we came, oh my God. Bill gave the top a quick sanding. So, yeah, we had a bit of sanding to do. This piece intrigued us. We couldn't quite figure out what was happening with it or what it was. And we kind of liked it, but then I thought it didn't make sense.
The trim on the back is blatantly an aftermarket.
This is
those are feet.
So, and then the way it kind of just cut off here and was, it didn't make sense to us. So we popped it off about 5 minutes before the video.
Yeah, Pam was scared to death.
I'm like, oh my God.
She's like, I don't know what happens. What happens if underneath is a mess?
Well.
And it was kind of, but it was okay. We just popped it off, and
A lot of glue.
there were 2 holes on either side. I'll see if I can get close in. Where a dowel went through to hold probably a mirror. And so we sanded it down real good, and then we filled those holes with Dixie mud.
I'm not going to wet that, but...
The Dixie mud is still a little wet because we did it very, very recently. If you're doing, with Dixie mud, if you're doing superficial scratches, it'll dry very quickly, and you give it a quick sanding, it'll be fine. But if you're filling a hole you cannot, it will not dry right away. You have to give it a significant amount of time, perhaps even overnight,
Yeah, I don't think we'll
for
get to the top.
for it to dry.
Geesh.
Yes, Debbie Thompson says much better without.
Yeah, I just think, like, I didn't mind it on there, but it wasn't the right piece.
It looked like you turn it upside down
Man.
because the feet were on the top. Michelle Wilkes saying hi.
Hi, Michelle.
Amber saying hi. Debbie Thompson, obviously. Deb Oliver saying, wait till I show up, it'll be party time. We're still waiting.
Now, when Michelle was in earlier, we were looking at this, and she said maybe it was a changing table, which would make sense if they put something on the back. You don't want your kid
Yeah,
rolling
possibly.
off. So, and then we thought maybe we should keep it that way and do it in a kind of soft, baby kind of colors, which I am kind of going in that direction.
The drawers are nice and deep and
Drawers are good.
and wide. You could actually put the baby in the drawer.
Yeah, drawers are good. This one is really tight. So let me show you.
Tammy Burkle saying hello.
Hey guys.
Chris Hale.
Hey Chris. All right, maybe I threw it out. When you repaint a piece of furniture that's already been painted, if your drawers are pretty tight, you may have to sand off because you're going to be putting more paint on top. And as the paint's building, these drawers fit in. They're going to get tighter and tighter. So I did have to sand off all around the drawer. And they had painted like all down the side and stuff. And I only go to the dovetail. So I had to sand all that off. But I sanded all the drawers. And then in here, the paint was really thick. Like I could chip it off with my fingernail. So I sanded all in here too to make the drawers, give the drawers a little more room. They're still a little tight, but I think once we get the Big Mama's Butter on them when we're all done, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, most of the time this happens with inset drawers. If it's a drawer that goes over the top of the face frame, you're not going to have that kind of problem because people don't paint the inside of the face frame.
All right, so here's what we're using. Oh, new silk. Who's got new silk colors? I do.
Right. Nikki Brock's watching. She says, watching from doctor's office.
Oh.
Hooking up to a 24-hour monitor.
Oh, Nikki.
Don't excite me, Pam. It's measuring my BP.
Oh no. All right, we're doing nice calm colors
Yes.
for Nikki tonight. All right. We're using the new Silk in Morning Sunrise. All right, so 10 new silk colors. I won't spend a lot of time on it because I've already been yakking yakking your ears off. 10 new colors, way different than the previous silk colors. So these are some pretty bold colors. I love the red. It's called Fiery Sky, and then the green is called Midnight Green. It's like a deep emerald hunter green. I don't know. It's gorgeous.
Like a green that you'd see at midnight.
Yeah, and the one we're doing now, Morning Sunrise, is kind of like a purple lavender that you would see in the morning.
In the morning.
Although in Tennessee, you see it at night. Here's kind of your Tennessee sky at night, right?
Oh, that lavender, yeah.
Oh,
That's what
man.
we're using, right?
Yeah. So we're using this one, and my hands are disgusting, guys.
Susie
It's
Smith
super
saying
dry.
hello.
Susie! Hey, girl. Okay, so this is kind of a soft lavender. I feel like it has a little gray, maybe, in it. Maybe a little gray, maybe a little beige. It reminds me of like tea rose compared to soft pink, right? This is kind of, compared to lavender, this is kind of like that. If that helps.
That's what I was thinking.
It probably doesn't. Okay, and we're using, look at this transfer. So this is the translucent garden transfer, which I absolutely think is beautiful. We're not going to do this tonight because we need to wait. We'll only get one coat of silk on, so I got to get 2 coats on, and then I'm going to wait overnight before I do a transfer. But I think this one is going to go so perfect with this. So I want it super soft. As some of the colors fade into the paint, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned with, that it might, the transfer might just disappear with the
That's
color.
okay.
But it looks like it's probably just
There's
enough.
other-
Yeah, enough to stand out.
There's some greens in it. It'll be pretty. And then maybe some crystal knobs. So we'll see.
Kimberly Dawn visited our store in Columbia.
Oh, fabulous.
Picked up the Lotus Bloom stencil.
Yay.
Got one of the new silk colors.
That's right. I talked to Kim. Good. Yeah, we're doing good there, guys. Laura, the owner, said we had a couple good days. Our first day's there. I'm gonna head down tomorrow and take a peek.
Debbie Thompson says red is supposed to be the big color this year.
Is it? Oh, that fiery sky. It's like a fire engine red. Like, it's not honky tonk red by any means. It's just it's really good. Okay. So.
Terry's watching from her craft room.
Hi, Terry.
And Deborah Lito is asking if we moved yet.
We're not moving.
We're not moving. We just opened up we opened up a booth.
Yeah.
With just our paint and paint supplies.
Yeah. And our friend Sharon and Pete, Sharon and Pete, and Sharon, if you guys come in the store, you know, she's here every Tuesday and Wednesday. They also have some stuff in the booth. So Sharon's an artist, so she's got some art in there. And Pete does some woodworking, so he's got some cool things made out of barrel staves. So if you're local, as soon as you go to Treasure Village, first booth on your left, which is hysterical, because before we opened our store and quit our good paying jobs in healthcare, that's where our booth was. So we're back there. It's just
we've come full circle.
I love it. So Treasure Village has been very good to us. All right, look at this color. Oh my God. Now,
settle down.
If I was gonna paint this with the chalk paint, I probably would have bossed a lot of this. You know, it's old, and we sanded off a good bit of the finish, so we probably would have had some bleeding going on there. But I'm gonna, hopefully the primer in the silk paint is gonna be enough to hold back some of this coming through. The first coat, we may get quite a bit of bleed through, and that's okay. That happens with silk sometimes. You just got to kind of trust it and let it dry. It's good, you know, 4 or 6 hours. Do your second coat, and usually that bleed through will not come through.
All right, so what are we doing first?
Okay, oval medium, you guys know, it's my jam, my
Her
brush.
favorite brush.
Yep, so oval medium, big fat brush, holds a ton of paint. I load my brush a lot with silk. Wouldn't do this with chalk paint, but with silk, I find that's the best way to get it on. And there's just a lot of dust in here. I want to make sure. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
And we're done.
That is so pretty.
Let me get down to your level.
Honey, I don't think you can go that
Literally,
low.
not figuratively.
You can go that low.
The hardware we choose is going to have to be.
I think I'm going to do crystal.
Yeah, you're saying crystal. What's the color again? Susan Gully is asking.
Susan, this is the new Morning Sunrise by the Silk color.
Deb says, "Is that your favorite brush to clean, Bill?" It's my worst. It's my least favorite because the dang thing holds so much paint.
Yeah, it does.
It's like as you start to clean it, there's at least like a tablespoon of paint just sitting in there.
These are my favorite kind of drawers to paint. They're so easy. You know, it's nicer when you have the panel that comes out than the one that sits in.
Casey Harker says she just got her that same color from her retailer.
Oh, don't you love it?
She hasn't. I don't think she's used it yet.
Oh, I could not wait to use it. And I've been wanting to use that translucent garden transfer, so like it was perfect. Again, I use a fair amount of paint. I would never do that with the chalk paint.
The original hardware on these was probably those wooden knobs. And the old wooden knobs used very, very thick screws, which is why the holes are so wide.
I know, I was like, oh my God.
Which is why they needed to use the washers to prevent the new hardware from pulling through.
I'm not doing the sides of the drawers quite yet, because I'll need to take those off where the dovetail is. The silk, guys, if you have not used the silk paint, I'm telling you, it's so easy. There's no brush strokes. It's crazy.
What did I use silk with? I sprayed something.
The coffee bar we just delivered.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was.
What was the color?
Are you sure? I thought it was buttercream.
No, we used buttercream, but the gray.
Oh, the gray blue. Yeah, that's right. Pure oat. What was it?
No.
Was it an ocean?
The ocean was no. What the heck was it? Forgot. I forgot. So I'm just getting. We've done so much sanding on here, like it just kind of keeps getting dusty.
Whoopsie.
Rude. All right, so we got a pretty long surface here. So we're gonna do a row at a time.
Get out of the way.
I can't help it. So on the top, I just go real quickly across. Not this way, but this way. And then I go across.
Nikki Brock says, when I prep, I always mud over the knob holes and then paint.
Yep.
Re-drill when I select new hardware.
Well, Nikki, you are a better woman than I am.
Yeah,
Sure.
I wouldn't do that either unless unless of course the hardware.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
Yeah, the hardware that you want to use or that a customer chooses doesn't match up. Susan Gully says the color looks like French linen in this video.
It's a lavender.
Yeah.
But it definitely has some gray tone to it. Yeah, sometimes it's hard.
It's hard to tell. You know what it is? It's just because it's against the blue too. That kind of plays tricks with your eyes as well.
Yeah,
We try to use lighting. You know, there's like soft white lighting. There's daylight, and there's another lighting, LED lighting, I forget. But I try to use the daylight. No, I use the bright white. That's what it is. The bright white is the one that's. I hope I'm not giving bad information, but probably people don't care.
I'm sure they're not going to be
Yeah.
holding it against you too much.
I love the LED lighting though. You get so much brighter.
All right, but yeah, it's definitely a really soft purple. So do you see where we're getting some bleed through right here already? This is where we sanded.
Yeah, that's where the oak is. So you're getting a little bleed through from the oak. Amy O'Connor is on.
Hello, Miss Amy.
She says, are you using Morning Sunrise?
Yes, so pretty. Love it. I love it. So I was just telling folks, if you're just joining, with the silk, it's got a blocking primer built into it. Don't panic if on your first coat you see some bleed through coming through, okay? Especially with the whites, but I anticipated this happening. Give it your good 4 to 6 hours in between coats. If you can wait overnight, even better. Most of us aren't that patient. But tomorrow, when I do the second coat, more than likely this will get covered. So I never worry about it on the first coat. But wherever we sanded and that wood's coming through, we're likely going to get some bleed through initially.
April Garner says, I swear I have the same dresser in my garage.
What's it doing in your garage, April? Paint it up. You need another piece for yourself.
It used to be in your garage.
April just
We swung by and picked it up this afternoon.
April comes in, she gets a lot of paint from us and things, and She came in the other day and she says, I'm finally doing a piece for myself. I can do whatever I want on it. And she did. It was gorgeous. Stenciling, all kinds of stuff.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Kate.
Oh, go ahead.
Casey asks, could you have done a quick clear boss over the spots you sanded to stop the bleed through? I'm always worried just using boss in spots will make the paint take differently.
Yeah. I don't like to do that because I do it on our big porch signs, and I'm just looking at one over here where it's got the big knots, and I just do it over the knots. And on the first coat, I mean, I can always see where boss was. So I end up having to do more coats. I don't like to spot treat with boss. You can, but
it's going to be that way with your first coat, no matter what you're doing. You could be going over 2 different color paints, and the paint is going to look differently on the first coat going over it. The second coat should be fine, though. I wouldn't worry about the boss.
And with silk, you generally don't need to do that. The primer in silk is really good. So I would just take my chances, like I'm doing here, and I think the primer is going to be fine.
Well, that's what it's supposed to do.
Well, they say it's got the equivalent of like 1 coat of primer. So, I mean, if you're painting a piece of mahogany or cherry white.
Yeah, there's certain
probably
types of wood that I think I would definitely use some boss over.
Yeah.
Even with the silk.
Yeah. But I have yet to paint anything with silk that I needed boss. And there's been a few times where I've been like, oh God, it's coming through, but another coat and it's fine. So I think we have to wait on the top, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's, so guys, if you're just joining, we're going to use this transfer with this. How pretty is that going to be? Can't wait. This is Translucent Garden, one of the newer Dixie Belle transfers. So I'm going to pop the drawers out. And let me put them over here. The drawers were really tight, guys. There was a lot of paint buildup on here, so I sanded all around the drawers and inside the frame here. Because we're going to be putting more paint on there, and it's just going to get too tight. And we're going to put some, not here, but we'll put some Big Mama's butter on these wood slides, and that will make a huge difference. Look at the inside of this drawers, though.
Interesting.
They're cool, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it's a very clean dresser. Okay. So I'm going to keep using my oval medium because this brush is so versatile. Even on these small pieces here, the brush will go thin enough for you to get in there. So I know it looks like a big brush, but it does everything. If you have to get one brush, I would get this even over the mini. Because you can make, this basically is a mini if you just press it down a little bit.
And she's going to have to paint the inside of the face frames.
Yeah.
So it won't matter if the brush is larger than the piece of wood she's painting.
Yeah, you can tell before this was painted, right, when it was wood, where the stain went up to. Because the drawers sit in, right, they don't cover the frame, so you're going to see it when they close. But you can always kind of tell how far, and this is actually further than you need to go, but you don't need to go further than they went originally.
Good quality dresser. It's got the liners, the panels in between each set of drawers.
The only thing I saw, there was one thing missing here.
That happens,
But-
those pieces.
But yeah, I mean, it's,
The drawer stops. You can get those anywhere. Usually from other dresses. Amy O'Connor says it has pretty legs.
thank you, Amy.
You talking about?
They're not bad. They're not bad. Yeah, we got some mud down there. They had, the leg was split, and they had glued it up, or someone had glued it up. And they actually did a good job repairing it, but there was still like all sorts of glue.
Yeah, usually when a piece of wood splits and people try to glue it up, it's not always easy. And I was a little concerned about that when we saw the pictures of it, but when we actually try not to lean on the wet paint. When we actually got to it, they did a very nice job matching it up. They just didn't clean out the glue that dripped out.
I'm just gonna go around the corner here. I know you guys can't see me, but I don't want to just put half the paint on here and then come back. We'll show you the veneer when we get to the side. So there is a veneer on this, and it's very much chipped off down here, but it's not peeling off. Like it's like it came off where it came off, but the rest is still intact. So we're not going to fill it or do anything crazy with it.
Old veneer, you tend to get pieces that chip off on the edges. We could have filled those chips with the Dixie mud or an epoxy putty.
Could have, but didn't.
We didn't feel it necessary. Now an epoxy putty, if we had done the holes on the top with epoxy putty, they would have been ready to sand and paint in 5 minutes.
It dries that fast?
Yes. Half the time it's drying before what I've used on the end of the,
Really?
yeah.
That's not stainable stuff though, is it?
Some of them they say it's stainable, but you're not going to get the same color. Like it'll take stain, but unless you get the one that's pre-stained, you'll never. It's just difficult to match, but it is what it is. Casey says, "Whatever you do, don't use Bondo wood filler inside the house." Yeah, Bondo is.
Did a friend tell you that, or did you find that out?
It smells pretty bad.
Bad. We're not going to paint the legs tonight because there is a lot of mud around here that I need to sand off. But hopefully we'll get to the top. And we won't get to the transfer, obviously, because we won't be done painting. I need to turn this a bit.
Which is why I put felt feet on it.
You put felt feet? Oh my gosh! You're so good to me.
Because I knew you would be turning it.
So good to me. There's actually, I was impressed because I had to turn this thing on its side to get to the feet, and there was like metal, I don't know what they are, things like jammed up into the feet.
Yeah.
You know, and they were all there. Usually something like that, you're missing half of them.
Casey says, Bill, you so smart.
He's too smart for his own good.
It's just experience. And if it didn't have the felt feet, I would have had to get up and help remove it.
Yeah, so he's actually kind of selfish, isn't he? get more for himself. So I'm going to, before we start this big panel, I'm going to get a little more paint because I don't want to run out and have to jump up and get more.
Now that's thinking ahead.
See that? That's where Casey says, oh, Pam, you're so smart. Look, we're barely using any of this. This whole dresser is going to be, I mean, maybe a quarter jar. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Cray cray. People still say that?
We are.
Yeah.
Again, I'm loading up pretty good. Don't be afraid. Be afraid. And I keep my brush pretty loaded. I don't let it get it down where there's not much paint on it. Like with the mineral paint, the chalk paint, you can let your brush get, you know, fairly dry and then just spray a little water. But with silk, you don't really do that. So, I mean, I keep loading. I just keep loading.
So Amy says, that's one reason I love Dixie Belle. A little paint goes a long way.
Yeah.
So not, I mean, we've used like Annie Sloan before, but I don't think I've used it enough to compare the two. I mean, as far as how far the paint goes. Do you think Dixie Belle goes longer, Amy?
Well, maybe in the past, but Amy, you know, she's not using Amy Sloan now.
No, I'm assuming she's used other products.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember when we did our farm table with Annie Sloan before we became, you know, before we even knew about Dixie Belle. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know. But I don't know that we were super crazy about it. Anyway.
So,
which is why we tried Dixie Belle.
Yeah, and we were retailers the same day.
That day. Yeah, he comes in from the shop.
I think I want to sell paint.
I'm like, can you go to Chapel? Well, no, you went to Chapel Hill.
Went to Chapel Hill.
To a little booth there to get some paint. And I think by the time you got home.
I called you to let you know.
Oh, what colors or something?
What colors? I don't think they had all the colors that you wanted. And you were like, that's all right. I have a package coming with $3,000 worth of paint.
Into the booth that we were going back into.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out to Columbia, and we're trying to work the point system out. So if you buy something in the booth, you get the point. I haven't figured it out yet.
So Amy says, yes, it does go longer. That's what won me over to Dixie Belle in the first place.
Yeah.
It was my profit margin with being able to have my paint go long enough for more projects. That makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting this done fast. You guys should be proud of me past 2 lives, right? Finishing these big projects. I forget, did Dad call
And
me an animal last time?
the amount of talking that you're doing hasn't really slowed down.
See, I can paint and talk now.
That's impressive.
It is.
So has that edge dried enough where you can go up against it? No, where you just painted.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay. I'm just kind of going on this edge inside here. But yeah, this is, now you gotta be careful with silk because it looks like it's drying, but if I really was to go over that, I'd probably ruin it and pull it right off. Keeping my brush pretty loaded. Don't forget, keep your brush loaded. So you can, this is where the veneer there's a big piece of veneer missing here. And, you know, we could patch that up, but it's not coming off. Like, I can't get my finger under there and chip it off. So, it's fine. If we were refinishing this for someone, you know, we'd ask them if they'd want us to repair that or not.
So Deb says, whoops.
Deb says whoops.
Deb says whoops. Deb says, I was wondering about the point system. I keep getting notifications that I have points, but I don't know what they are for.
Is that, what Deb is that?
Oliver.
Deb, on the website, I have to get with Isaac on the website because we're working on the reward system on there. And I think it's different than our point system in the store. So if you order from the website, it's like every so many dollars you get like, forget what it is, 10 points or something. I haven't seen it. I only see it from the back end. So I have to see how you actually like redeem them. But yeah, we wanted to make sure that people that ordered from us online also got, you know, free stuff or points or whatever, because we appreciate you guys. So we're working on the online reward system. It's a little different than the one in the store. The systems don't talk to each other, go figure.
Casey says she likes Annie Sloan for certain things, but I have found Dixie Belle is more user-friendly and it's way easier to achieve a smooth finish with less effort.
So what do you, what do you like Annie Sloan for? Like what does it do good?
I like paying twice as much, she says. No, that's not what she says. So Deb says, what do I do with the points?
You get like, you get something, like you get money, like free money towards something. Let me, I have to look at it, honestly.
We'll have to get back with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll let you know, and Deb, as much as you buy, you're probably getting close to something. I'll take a look at it, and I gotta figure out how it works. Again, I don't see it from the front end. So I'm just going to, I'm gonna do the edge here, and then we'll see if the top is ready to do.
Dixie Eccles saying hello from Alabama.
Hello. From Tennessee. Where in Alabama? Are you close? We're about a half hour south of Nashville. And I have to get up under there, but we'll do that another time. All right.
A half an hour as a bird flies.
Half an hour? Oh, for you.
To Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As the traffic goes, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, depends.
Pat Marchese.
Hey, sister.
Pat Marchese Edghill saying hello from Ga.
Everybody say hi to my sister.
Dixie Eccles is from Sheffield, Northwest Alabama.
Northwest. Okay.
And Deb saying, by the way, that those new small transfers are to die for.
Oh my gosh. So, I stopped carrying Prima for quite some time. And I went back to it just because the demand was so high. It was a bit of a hard decision to do, but we did it. They just have an amazing variety of transfers. And they make these small ones. They're $13.95. They come in 3 small sheets. Monday, they have a whole new release coming out. So it's their Q1 release. There are some gorgeous transfers coming out. So I will be getting some new ones, Deb. And I forgot. So we're going to start carrying Decoupage Queen decoupage papers. Who uses those? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna show you some. I have my order in. Should be here probably a week. I'm not gonna turn this just to do this side.
Okay. Ellen Lovenguth, watching from LaGrange.
Hi, Ellen.
How.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We love sharing our Sunday nights with you all. If we had time to do more lives, we would.
Are we doing one next week?
Next Sunday. Well, we're doing one for Amy, but that's
Super
not a
Bowl,
lot.
right?
Huh?
Super Bowl
Oh,
Sunday.
Super Bowl. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let me show you guys. Wait till you see these. Oh my gosh. I ordered, I think I ordered 200 of them.
200 of the same one?
No, because they're different and they come in different sizes. But so they're rice papers. So I carry recycled papers. For those of you that don't know, I have a ton of them. They're 18-pound tissue paper.
Those are heavy.
20. I know they're very heavy. Shipping is like ridiculous.
Oh my God. One sheet, $40.
They're 20 by 30 in size, so they're about this size. This is the 16 by 23. So the recycled ones are bigger than this. These are the decoupage queen ones. They're rice papers. They come in.
Isn't that an ABBA song?
For what?
Decoupage queen?
Dancing queen.
Oh, whatever.
Guys, look at the colors in these. Are you kidding me?
I saw those on the counter the other day, and I was like, "Wow, those are detailed."
Oh my gosh! Look at this. Look at that one.
Here, and one over.
Look at the bee. Look at the queen bee. That would go so pretty.
The detail in these are kind of amazing.
Oh my god. They look like hand painted. Yeah. So I'll be getting these in hopefully in another week. I placed an order a couple days ago. The problem, and I love the recycled papers, but the problem is it truly takes me 8 to 10 weeks to get them when I place an order. And I cannot wait that long. I don't want people waiting that long for stuff.
You can't wait 5 minutes.
And then I pay for it, and then I don't get it for over 2 months sometimes.
Are you doing the top?
You want to see if it's okay?
I would just go over it.
Let
Let me fix. Sorry about the camera, guys. I gotta adjust everything.
Oh my gosh, I love this color.
All right.
See, if this was chalk paint, we could already go and do the second coat on the drawers. But we can't. We can't.
Get some lighting. All right, you're good. You're good.
I thought you were going to come over and...
Oh, and look at that spot.
Sorry. Just do it.
The surface of it is probably dry where we did the Dixie mud.
But if we paint
But
over it...
it's fine. Your second coat, we may have to sand it, and you may have to give it another coat.
It's going to dry because we're locking it in.
No, it'll dry from underneath. The hole goes right through.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to do a little more here because we don't want to run out in the middle. And I pretty much figured if the holes are showing and we don't like the way it looks, I'm going to take a little part of the transfer and we'll just put it over it. We'll just put it over it.
Amy says that she loves that you two are back on Sundays. Let me get a little closer here.
Yeah, we I will, honestly, after we couldn't be on the Dixie Belle page anymore, I felt kind of like deflated. So we just kind of took some time to figure out.
And we were busy as.
We were busy.
Yeah, there were so many things going on back then.
It's hard to come up with those projects, guys. These ambassadors that do these regular lives, I mean, just try to think how many projects they have to be doing.
Oh, that's crazy.
you know, and with the products, they have to have certain, you know, pieces to do the product, to do the colors that are there and the transfers that they have to use. I mean, it's hard. But I just felt kind of bummed because it was so good. It was good for us to be on the Dixie Belle page. I mean, our business did very well. And it actually, we took a fairly decent hit online.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we stopped doing Dixie Belle. So it just took us a while to...
Yeah, if it weren't for Deb Oliver, we'd have been out of business.
Yeah, the online thing really dropped. Because, you know, we got a lot of new followers that way and that kind of thing. So it's fine. We're back. We picked ourselves up.
Yep. Nikki Brock says, I wish you were live every day. I kind of have a Pam and Bill addiction. Casey says she'd watch us over the Super Bowl any day. So does Trina.
Thank you guys. We love you guys.
So would Deb Oliver. Mary Sharkey is asking, are you near Franklin, Tennessee?
Yeah.
We are.
We're very near Franklin.
Spring Hill. It's next.
So
well,
Thompson
two towns over.
Yeah. So come through Thompson Station, and then we're in Spring Hill.
Sit about, you know, we're only about 5 miles, well, 5 or 6 miles probably from where Franklin begins.
Yeah, the road's terrible.
So it's only about an hour and a half in traffic to get to us.
Yeah, there's one road, Main Street, we're on it, and it gets pretty bad. But yeah, is that where you are, or is that you just kind of know that area?
So where are those papers from again?
Decoupage Queen.
So somebody named Jamie Edgehill is asking, what's the difference between chalk paint and silk paint?
Chalk paint, so let's go backwards. Silk paint, which is what I'm using now, is an acrylic-based paint. The silk paint has a built-in primer. So where this wood is here, if I was using chalk paint, I would prime this because the tannins in this wood would bleed through the very porous chalk paint. So I would have to prime it. With silk, there's a built-in primer. So more than likely, it's not gonna come through. It also has a built-in top coat. So I don't know about you guys, I hate sealing. I hate sealing. You don't have to seal with this.
I hate floors.
This has a built-in sealer that's washable, UV resistant, and mold and mildew resistant. So it's great for like a bathroom counters.
The best thing about it is how smooth it goes on.
So you notice I have not touched my water bottle. If I was using chalk paint, I would be using that frequently to help my paint go on smoother and to make it go further. Silk, you don't need to use it unless you're spraying it. You just don't need to.
Thanks for getting it, Deb.
The sealing?
Yeah.
With silk, there's a little more prep. So with chalk paint, you always clean, regardless of either whatever you're painting with. You should always clean with your White Lightning cleaner. Rinse that off, and with chalk paint, generally you can paint away. I mean, unless it's real slick and you need to scuff it up or put a bonding primer on it, which is rare. I rarely use a bonding primer with Dixie Belle paint unless I'm painting marble or glass, and laminate sometimes. Where's I going with that? So with silk, you need to clean, rinse, and scuff sand, right? Silk needs a little more to grab onto. You want to wait longer in between. Silk is going to take minimum of 4 hours to dry, and where chalk paint dries from the bottom up, and it dries fast. Silk dries from the top down, so the top is going to look real dry, but underneath it's not. I mean, it's definitely not cured. It's not bonded. It's not dry to your piece. So you know, in an hour, I can go, oh, this looks pretty dry, and start painting, but I'm moving that paint along the bottom, right? So you can start pulling your paint. I want you to show. So this is bleed through. So bleed through doesn't mean like your paint, you haven't gotten full coverage and your paint's coming through. Bleed through is this yellowy, brown, oily stuff coming through, right? It's the tannin in the woods because we removed the paint and the sealer. So now it's allowing that stuff to come through. With silk, this is gonna look horrible when it dries, but when I do my second coat, this should be covered. This should be covered. Here's one that's dry. Remember it was bleeding through on our drawer because we sanded there? So you can kind of see it.
Kind of see it, yeah.
And the color, I'm seeing Bill, I'm seeing the camera, and guys, this color does not look anything like it does on the camera. This is a pretty lavender, so it's not coming through as that. All right, so I think we just have to get the bottom of the drawer.
It is coming through pretty good.
Is it?
The color, it's not exactly the same. I think we were so close to the light.
Oh, okay.
It was a glare.
All right, so again, we can't do another coat. If this was chalk paint, we could go back because the drawers are just about look like they're dry, but we can't because of the way this paint dries. Jamie, the chalk paint, you don't need to seal the chalk paint, but you have a little boy named Owen, so you probably want to seal your furniture because little boys. That's it.
You may want to seal your sofa.
That's right. So the chalk paint, you want to put a poly or a wax on. It just makes it easier to clean and a little tougher. Both of them take a month to cure. So don't do a scratch test in a day and say, oh, my paint's coming off. Your paint's going to come off, okay? They're water-based paints. The water has to evaporate. Think of the water evaporating and the paint bonding, okay? That's what curing means. Curing is different than drying. You need a month for your paint to cure. And if you're in Florida or somewhere else, it could be longer. It just depends on your climate. But always give it at least 3 to 4 weeks, and don't give it a scratch test because it'll come off. It'll come off.
They say the concrete in the Hoover Dam in the middle
Yeah.
is still curing.
Get out.
Yeah. Because
What
it's
does that
so that they actually
God.
they poured it in like 200 cubic yard sections, and then they would wait for it to dry and then pour another one next to it and pour. But it's the ones that are in the middle are just, and they never get any air, so
Yeah.
they're still drying.
Kind of like the mud that's under here.
Yeah, that could be years before that dries.
All right, guys, this is the transfer we're going to put on top of it. It won't be for another couple days, but this is the translucent garden.
You want to hold up the actual?
Yeah. So pretty. Look at the colors in that. It's got some dragonflies and butterflies and really pretty. So everything we use.
Where's the dragonflies?
It's on here. Okay, look at that.
Beautiful.
That was a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Almost like my tattoo.
That's very similar to the colors too, isn't it?
Translucent.
Yeah.
We'll tell you the story of the dragonfly tattoo one
Yeah.
day.
The one that's still waiting to be finished.
All right, guys.
Several years later. Nikki Brock says, I put an extra coat of Gator on something that was painted a month ago. Does the 30 days start over?
Yeah, I mean, Gator, so your paint is cured, but your top coats, they take several weeks too, so your paint is fine, but you could still scratch through your Gator hide, or if you put something on it heavy, it could leave a depression in there, so...
I always recommend, like, if you're going to put anything on the top of something, a doily or something, every time I say it, I'm like, do they even make doilies anymore?
We're old,
But something, a face cloth, a paper towel, just something that, especially if it's heavy, if you're putting something heavy on the surface of something that you just painted, even if it's dry, if it's still curing, it will, when it's done curing, it'll stick to that, whatever it is that you sat on there, unless you move it around continuously. So putting something under it, even a paper towel, will prevent it from sticking to the object.
This is only going to be good news for you guys that are local, but you know nobody has gator hide, right? Like gator hide is non-existent right now. Hopefully soon we'll have some back. But when I opened the booth in Columbia, I got 2 16-ounce gator hides and 2 16-ounce extra coat, which is the same thing as gator hide. Okay, it just goes along with the silk line, so it's branded a little differently, but it's gator hide. So I have 4 16-ounce gator hides in Columbia. So don't kill yourselves trying to get it. Yeah, so
people are
guys,
booking their flights now.
I know. In this how-to book, and if you guys don't have this and you want one, give me your address and let me know. I'll mail it to you, except for you, Nikki, because you're in Australia. But I'll send you snapshots of each page. How about that? It'll tell you the cure time. So I just opened it up to gator hide, and it gives you the dry time. Don't look at my hands, they're so gross. Dry time 48 hours, cure time 21 to 30 days. Okay, so you know, even though you painted and now you're doing gator hide, your top coat still has to cure. Chalk paint, same thing. Dry time 15 minutes, cure time 21 to 30 days. Okay. And most things are like that. The clear coat, all that stuff. I don't think silk is in here. Is it? No. But silk is basically the same rules apply.
Deb says, "Can you send one in my next order, please?"
Yes, ma'am. I can. Yep.
And Nikki would like a snapshot.
I usually like on your first order from me, if I realize that you've never ordered, I'll stick the color card and the how-to book in there. This is a new how-to book, so yes, Deb, I will get one out to you. All right. Any other questions? Anything anybody wants to tell us?
Why are we still talking?
We're still talking? Why?
Why?
Because I always have trouble saying goodbye. All right. All right, guys. We'll see you next Sunday.
Wait, we have another question.
What?
Let's see. Nikki, I had 2 coats of silk and 1 coat gator on a month ago and realized I had not done my extra coats. So if I do it again today, I'll have to wait another 30 days.
Extra coats. Like another coat of gator hide, you mean?
Yeah, whatever the last coat is that you put on, you still have to wait 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever's underneath is good. And again, it'll dry. You can use it. It's not that you can't use the furniture for 30 days. Just know there's a possibility that.
And this is good info. Amy says almost all of the Dixie Belle products are 21 to 28 days, and that is based on humidity.
Yeah.
Except for butter, which is 7 days, and Easy Peasy Spray Wax, which is 6 hours.
Super fast.
Yeah.
For those of you that cannot wait, Easy Peasy Spray Wax. Good?
Are you, a lot of people. Are you a new mini transfers on your page?
Yes. Yep. Which, I think 2 of them are already sold out, and I got 6 of everything. So, but the new ones are there.
Nikki says it's a baby crib.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make sure that you're using, like,
you want to wait
safe,
till that is cured.
Yes, and that you're using whatever products are safe to.
I see that question a lot about can you use it on the crib, because they're putting their
Cribs. I always used like a salad bowl finish on like I built a crib, and I used a salad bowl finish on it because kids are always biting stuff and chewing on stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Amy knows that. I feel like that question's asked a lot, and I'm not sure I've ever seen a real answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking into it.
Okay. All right, guys. But yes, transfers are there. There's new Prima transfers in the tube and in the small ones. There's a ton of Prima rice papers on there. The Dixie Belle rice papers are on there. I still have a few Posh Chalk stencils at half off, and a few of the pastes. But other than that, they're pretty much right.
Gone.
So, okay. All right. We're we're gonna go, guys, and we love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. I don't think I pinned our website there, but it's countryliving.newbie.com. So go there, and if you need something shipped out, we will get it out to you in a day. Unless you ask us to hold it because it's freezing, which we've been doing for some folks. So, okay, we'll see you on next Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.